First resolution. So I talked to Bob. Get a mic anymore. I was told it. Fine. It's on.
Oh, no light there. I can't see that light around the
ball.
Yeah. Poor Joyce Hills, yeah. Oh, that's the one that.
All right, everyone, please stand for the pledge. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Turn on your microphones. Peter,
You're on. It's on.
it's on.
Yep.
Board Member Drake.
Here.
Board Member Neisel.
Here.
Board Member Steen.
Here.
Board Member Van Blarkum.
Present.
Supervisor DeScalani.
Yep. Make a motion to accept last month's minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Happy New Year, everyone. We're looking forward to a wonderful year and great accomplishments. We're hoping to update our parks and main streets with some upcoming grants. We're looking to have a national resources inventory performed, and we're looking to ways to upgrade our water systems. Over the next year, we need to discuss and appropriate some ARPA funding for projects such as new town hall, etc. We're starting our food waste scrap collection in 2 weeks. The program will be at the recycling center and be the same days and same hours. Our next meeting is February 5th. Supervisors report for revenues, mortgage tax, $49,751.38. Reimbursement, AWSMP, $767.96. Ambulance fees, $7,778.62. Town clerk fees, Easy Pass, $67.50. AIM fees, $56,508. That was for 3 years. Fuel reimbursement, $2,387.07. Building permit fees, $3,428. Dog licenses, $24. Registrar vital statistics, $198. Cell tower renter, $3,101.34. Zoning fees, $700. Highway, $124,772.66. Planning board fees, $1,010. Reimbursement, Spectratel, $346.75. Sales tax, $52,550.49. Justice fees, $6,669. Sales tax for sales of cemetery plots, $800. STR receivables, $26,800. Reimbursement from Marshall and Sterling, $797.50, for a grand total of $338,448.27. Communications, Joyce.
The only thing I should say is the tax bills were mailed out on December 27th. We've already gotten payments back. The payment website is shandakentax.com if you'd like to pay online by e-check, which is just a $1.50 flat fee, or of course with a credit or debit card. January, it's interest-free. We collect taxes until June. If you didn't pay your school tax that was due in November, that would be re-levied onto our tax. Don't call our office and say that we doubled your taxes. We did not. So we just tell them to call the assessor's office. It's their fault, you know. Right, Grace? So anyway, I know right away. So if you'd like to pay online, if you have difficulty, call my office. It is much easier, and then after we upload the batches, your receipts will be available online. You can print it out or save it to your computer for tax time. It's a nice system. This is our 5th year, I think, we're going into that we've used it. And we will also mail out receipts if you do not have the internet, or if you're over a certain age and you don't want to deal with it, we will gladly send you a receipt, but all receipts should be gotten online. It's silly to waste the money. All righty, and that's it.
Thanks, Joyce.
And tonight, when I read the votes for each resolution, I'm just going to ask for aye or nay, like I did last year and the year before, to make it a little quicker, rather than calling all the names.
Okay.
Okay?
We're going to go into an executive session. I promise it won't be more than 15 minutes. So I make a motion that we go into executive session. It has to do with ambulance payroll.
You want to do committee reports first so those people can leave if they don't want to stay?
Sure, we could do it that way.
Seems like
That
it's
sounds
just a
fair.
nice thing to do to everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
I hope they
Ambulance
appreciate
report. Happy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Joyce, did you get a building or zoning report?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I didn't either. Anything on police?
No report, but everything seems good.
Okay. Everything seems fine on Phoenicia Water. Anybody know anything about Pine Hill Water?
No, everything seems fine as well.
Great. Museum?
Museum. Monthly report of the Shandaken Historical Museum, January 2024. The museum is open for 3 days a week, Friday, Saturday, and closed Sundays until January 2024. Because I became seriously ill due to food poisoning recently, not me, I'm just reading this, I was not able to perform some of my duties as museum director for the month of December. Mary Lou and Ellen covered for me. A 56-inch state-of-the-art flat-screen media center is now up and running, providing a rich media experience for visitors. This includes the entire YouTube library, large-scale display capability for lecture presentations, PCs, Mac, iOS, Android, DVDs, USB, VHS, and CDs. The museum will continue developing an inventory system to log and track and photograph all items in the museum. We are also starting to convert old films donated by local families to digital movies that can be presented on the Media Center. I'm working on projects to freshen up the museum with Bill and Mary Lou, including new exhibits, a cleanup day, a guest lecture series, applying for grants, and continued posts on Facebook. This we continued our lecture series with a follow-up presentation by noted author Evan T. Pritchard on ancient Indian spiritual rock structures residing in Shandaken and southern New York State. The museum will continue its lecture series with a presentation by Glenn Kreisberg, an author, outdoor guide, and radio engineer who researches archaeoastronomy and landscape archaeology in the Hudson Valley and Catskill Mountains of New York. His books include Spirits in Stone, Mysteries of the Ancient Past, and Lost Knowledge of the Ancients. He served 2 terms as vice president of the New England Antiquities Research Association, NEARA, and studied archaeoastronomy at SUNY and archaeoacoustics at Malta, on Malta. He is co-founder of the nonprofit Overlook Mountain Center, www.overlookmountain.org, in Woodstock, New York. Can be seen on the History Channel as a guest on The Unexplained with William Shatner and Ancient Aliens. A local resident, Jim Wilson, continues to do some building maintenance jobs, including installing a new dehumidifier for the entire building. There were 33 visitors to the museum in January, some being from Los Angeles, Woodstock, and New York City. Respectfully submitted, Joseph Preboy, Museum Director.
You probably meant December, I think, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll fix that.
Thanks, Kyle.
That's a lot of people in one day.
Sam?
Hey, so we submitted our T-Mobile grant for Parks and Recreation, Thursday, the 28th of December, for roughly $50,000. I want to thank Autumn and Kevin for helping gather the information, and definitely thank you to Babs for her time and effort that she put into writing the grant. We're now working on the DEC Smart Growth Grant with Robert. That should be submitted by the end of this month. And then on January 23rd, there's gonna be a Lowe's Hometown Grant, which opens, and we'll need, different people to nominate our project specifically, and then hopefully we'd be invited to apply for that grant. So Joyce, I'll probably ask you to post that link when the time comes.
All right.
This Shandaken skate park project, the Hendersons came to our last meeting, they talked about their plans, we did some brainstorming. They've been actively working on various aspects of the initiative. Location is the biggest hurdle right now. We have plenty of people and organizations that wanna help when the time comes to, fund and install the skate park. They're looking to put a fundraiser together in February, so if you're on their email list, look for an email, or, as well as the Facebook and Instagram for Shandaken Skate Park for a date and location. We selected a color for our Trex bench, we're just waiting for that to come in, and we'll put that in Glenbrook in the spring. Nick Torres from Smith Park reached out to Pickleball USA about information on installing a court in Pine Hill. Also, we're gonna work on a volunteer project list where Nick is gonna help us come up with what supplies and materials we need for that, for some of the smaller projects in the spring, since our list has kind of changed since our parks project. And then we're hopeful that we'll start working on updating the 2023 Parks and Recreation Comprehensive Master Plan, see what's been done from that previous plan, and then add some new things into that. That's all I got.
Thanks, Sam.
Yep.
Sophie, housing?
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me. The housing committee, we didn't meet in December because our meeting was on Christmas, so we'll meet again the fourth Monday of the month at 7, right here. What we're working on for this month and next month is really like getting into every committee meeting and just having more of a presence, building relationships, and trying to really understand where everyone's at and make ourselves available in case there are things that we can be helpful on. The 2 events that we're going to be hosting in the first half of this year, one will be an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit info session led by the county. So Kyle Lord Farmer will come to one of our meetings in March or April, and our request is there's at least one person from every other committee that attends that as well, and then anyone from the public is invited to come sit in on that also. So I'll follow up with everybody, but the hope is we have a lot of town representatives there so that we can all get educated. And the other event is a business leaders meetup to really talk about how housing impacts the economy and the local businesses that we support here in Shandaken. So we discussed it at the last PBA meeting, but hopefully we'll bring together like maybe 2 or 3 people that represent different types of businesses, but it would be anyone from like a mom and pop that has 1 employee to an organization like What's Up at Bel Air or even across Valley. So thinking about some of those bigger employers too, how we can get all these minds together to talk about these issues. And then the only other thing is I need to follow up just for a little bit of clarity on what it is you want from us on the STR law. I know we talked about it at the last town board meeting. I know that you had a hearing on the 18th, so I'll follow up and clarify what it is you need from us.
And we'll clarify, I'm gonna call for a special meeting, a workshop next week or following week, whatever we can get our heads together on, and we'll discuss that.
Great.
And try and be more clear
Yeah, thank
to
you.
give you some direction.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
want to make sure whatever the question is, that we
Right.
can address it.
Because whatever that helps there, it will help the comprehensive plan, verbiage, and how we
Yeah.
want that.
Totally. And then I
Integrated.
know that Peter and Kevin have both been to a housing committee meeting, but I don't know if there's like a designated, if there's one person in particular who should be our point of contact, but I know that would be helpful.
Okay.
If there was.
I'm the liaison for everybody. If there isn't somebody else, you can always reach out to me, but
Okay.
we'll talk amongst ourselves and,
Yeah, just to be at the meeting too, because it's so helpful to have
Yeah.
one of you there.
yep,
So that would be great.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
see anybody here from the CAC. I don't think so, but Beth's not here, but they're working on stuff. And like I mentioned in my notes, the next project is the natural resources inventory. Comprehensive plan. Kevin, you want to speak on that?
I can, or if Leah wants to say.
Or Leah?
Yeah, I'll speak.
Yep.
Thanks for having us on the agenda. So last month, Robert came and let us know that there's a series of grants that the town has attempted to apply to in the past, unsuccessfully, primarily because we don't have an updated comprehensive plan. So as a committee, we agreed, let me take one step back. In our meetings, what we've been doing is, for those of you who are not watching the recordings, basically going line by line through the comprehensive plan as a group, reading it, revising it, identifying what has taken place, what hasn't taken place, and how do we modernize it. So the goal is to continue that process for the next 3 months, and in April, or by April, basically, pull in all of those adjustments, all of those revisions, and then present it to the board, town board in May, to have you guys review those revisions, accept them, or send it back to us for further revision, and then have that revised comprehensive plan be the comprehensive plan that is utilized to apply for these grants. Noting that that will not be the final version, and that the fact that it's not the final version will be identified in the comprehensive plan for anyone who has feelings that this isn't proper process and procedure. We are not going to say this is our new comp plan in and of itself, but we do need some content, some update in order to move forward.
Yep.
So that's like the big thing. The three other things is to follow up on Sophie. The housing committee will be joining us next week. And the goal there, again, is to integrate, basically to work in tandem so that we're not doubling down on the efforts of what the needs, how our current housing needs are in Shandaken. The third thing is we've talked generally about working, obviously, with a planning company, but just to sort of, I guess, formally ask the board about possibly utilizing funds, like a limited amount of funds now, to start like an initial process, rather than waiting for the full 50 or 60K that will be required. Just start with something like $10,000. Start working with the company now. So I don't exactly know what the process is, other than what I just did by asking you.
That's the process, yeah.
Yeah, that's the process. Okay, so great. And then the last thing, I don't know if this is the right place for that either, but if there needs to be like a formal, that like have been identified as the group, like nominated to be co-chair, but have not technically been appointed by the board. I don't know if that's like a process.
It's a committee, so it's all done in-house, and you guys decide on your own.
Got it, even though, great, that was
Yeah.
different than what someone else had told me, so.
And by the way, I'll be going to each of these groups and swearing all those members in at their next meeting this month. So anybody could be there, it'd be great, the first meeting.
Yeah.
If not, then if they're not at the meeting, they can come in my office and one of us will swear them in there. But it's easier at the meeting. Get them all in one fell swoop. Right? Right.
Okay, thanks, Leah.
That's all, thanks.
Are we okay to go to, make a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're gonna go downstairs.
You're gonna go or you?
Make a motion to close the executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Wasn't running.
Make a motion to close the executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Yep.
One light doesn't work, that's probably the one.
I heard it.
I just believe it's on.
There you go.
There it goes. Okay. I'm going to make a motion to have a special meeting January 9th at 6 o'clock.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to table resolutions 1 through 35.
Second.
6 p.m.
Tuesdays.
Tuesday the 9th.
So you're gonna start with resolution 35?
36.
You don't wanna do advance payment of utility bills?
Yeah, we should do 34, right?
35.
35. I mean.
Resolution 3524, advance payment of utility bills. Whereas under section 118, notes of decision 2 of town law, the town board may authorize payment of public utility service in advance of audit of claims. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board authorize the supervisor to pay said bills in advance of audit of claims and move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Drake?
Aye.
Board Member Nysel?
Yes?
Board Member Steen?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarkum?
Yes.
Supervisor DeScalani?
Yes.
Resolution 36-24, resolution to pay all bills. Whereas the Department of Audit and Control required town boards to sign and inspect all vouchers coming into the town for payment, number and total amounts for each fund, therefore be it resolved that the town board authorize the following vouchers paid. General, $284,510.95. Highway, $194,598.59. Phoenicia Water, $13,977.50. Pine Hill Water, $5,855.93. Phoenicia Lights, $2,102.90. Chichester Lights, $247.08. Pine Hill Lights, $1,427.47. Shandaken Septic, $6,825 and no cents, for a grand total of $473,545.42, and move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Drake?
Yes.
Board Member Nysel?
Yes.
Board Member Steen?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarkum?
Yes.
Supervisor DeScalani?
Yes. Resolution 3724, resolution to accept the government operations greenhouse gas inventory and government operations climate action plan. Whereas the town of Shandaken pledged to take part in the New York State DEC Climate Smart Communities program that includes the preparation of the government operations greenhouse gas emissions inventory report and government operations climate action plan. And whereas a government operations greenhouse gas inventory is an inventory of greenhouse gas emissions created by providing municipal services, and whereas a government operations climate action plan is a strategy document that sets goals and outlines and set of initiatives that reduce greenhouse gas emissions and provides a framework for achieving those targets. Whereas a free technical assistance is available to support the development of inventory and a plan from the Hudson Valley Regional Council, HVRC, through a new NISDEC Climate Smart Communities Coordinator Service contract. And whereas a complete inventory and plan count toward Climate Smart Communities certification, specifically 1 PE2 action, government operations greenhouse gas GHG emissions inventory, and 2 PE2 action, government operations climate action plan. Whereas the Climate Smart Task Force, comprised of municipal officials, environmental volunteer community leaders, will calibrate with HVRC in the development of these publications, review drafts, provide valuable feedback on iterations that result in the final draft. And whereas a task force will provide an opportunity for public input and comment on the draft report. Whereas the task force will provide a summary of the inventory results and the draft government operations climate action plan to the Town of Shandaken Town Board for consideration of adoption. Therefore, be it resolved, the Town of Shandaken approves to accept the government operation greenhouse gas inventory and government operations climate action plan. I move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Drake?
Yes.
Board Member Nysel?
Yes.
Board Member Steen?
Yes.
Board Member Van Barcom?
Yes.
Supervisor DeScalani?
Yes. Open public comment.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.
Hello. Sophie from Fox Hollow. The farmer's market is coming back this Sunday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Pine Hill Community Center. You could, Beth, you can use your EBT card. We have Fresh Connect checks. We have fresh vegetables, delicious baked goods, and amazing things for you to discover. The community center has a clay center. What is the better word for that? The clay atelier, yes. And from 12 to 2, kids could come in. Kids could come in and make some fun projects with clay and just become more familiar with clay. Over the last few weeks of the year, we had awesome, dioramas made with clay that kids were designing what they want the Shandaken Park's playgrounds and everything to look like and feel like, so that was really cool. Great, okay, and I know we're working through some signage stuff. We're really trying to adhere to all the guidelines, and I would love to talk offline or whatever about this letter from DOT that came to you, just so we can advocate for things that our community needs. And I know that maybe some don't think that the farmer's market is a community resource, and it totally is. We're a not-for-profit, fully volunteer run. Signage is important to making sure people are aware of this service. So I hope we can continue talking about it. I will work on my end of finding other advocates. I know this is a federal law, so I'm not expecting you to
It's a
change
state
it.
law. It's a state,
And
it's a town law,
It's also a
and
federal law.
it's a DEC law and a highway law.
I hear you, Joyce.
It's
I know you're the
offsite
sign
advertising.
queen,
The
and I'm
sign-
totally I respect
Yes.
all of the work that you do on that. And so I'm not coming to you to change anything.
No, I know, it's hard in the winter with signs. It was nice in Phoenicia because you did take it down right after, it was a temporary sign.
Yeah.
But people, I guess, were complaining to DOT evidently, I don't know.
I'm not sure
But they,
who is complaining and spending their time doing
I
that,
have
but
no
that's
idea.
up to
Yeah,
them.
see, it's a permanent
That's up to
sign.
them. But
Yeah,
but we got a
yeah.
complaint about a sign that you sanctioned, that you said we could
I
put
said
up.
until somebody complains, Sophie, I said you should take it down every weekend, so don't.
Not the banner next to the sign.
The banner.
The banner.
It's all right, we'll talk tomorrow.
So I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. We're not trying to break laws. We're trying to feed people fresh food in a town that doesn't have any. So any support, advocacy is hugely appreciated from our volunteer team. And, we'll talk to Hinchy's office. We'll talk to Nolan's office. We'll get people to see the value of what this is. So thank you for your support, and we'll go from there.
I'm sorry, but it begs the question, what was that about? This sign?
I was gonna ask you,
Yeah, what's
thank you.
going on with the sign for the?
That's what we need to give it back.
I didn't see this letter.
I'm unfamiliar.
Yeah,
personally.
what
Just
letter?
came in today.
A letter came from the Department of Transportation to Supervisor DeScalani, and then you forwarded it to me, thank you. I still only received the first page of the letter. I have
The
no,
other page was just a picture of the sign.
but who sent the letter? There was no signature.
Oh, no, they didn't, there was no signature.
Who
either.
sends letters with no signatures
I
or
know, it was
from, what?
That letter got a signature with an email and a name.
So that's kind of what I'm following up on too. I've asked twice over email if I could see the full letter, understand.
That was the full.
There's
nothing
no
was-
second
there's an
page.
envelope.
I can,
It sounds like Grace said that there is a signature.
Yes, there is.
So,
I have a copy of the letter. It has a signature and
I would appreciate a copy, just to see it, because the first time we were told about the banner, it was sent directly to me via email.
Right.
So this one going to you and not knowing who it came from, was it from the same person? Because I have her contact. I just want to understand more of the context of the letter. But basically, we put up a sign every Sunday
to let people know the farmer's market is happening, to remind them that it's happening, because not everybody is like me, obsessed with the farmer's market. We put, well, I didn't get the picture, I didn't get the photo, so I don't actually know
It
what.
was the one on the west end that's like a banner.
Got it.
Got two
So that
little
one is like
stakes
a
in it.
cruddy thing falling apart, and we could all just consider that that will never be put up in
the only thing they
Shandaken
showed.
again. But on top of that, we got another emailed notice to us directly on November 8th, 2023, saying that we had an illegal sign at the corner of 212 and 28, which we put up with permission from town. So I don't know. That one I got directly. This one came through.
214.
That's what I just said.
Was it 212?
Excuse me,
Yeah, that was,
214.
his sign was there too, and they made him take his political sign down too.
Yeah.
So
So,
evidently, yeah, because we thought we could just attach. I
right,
never knew that DOT said you can't have loose signs, they have to be attached to that billboard.
right.
And we did it, Rob and I, we did it, we always attached them to that billboard. You know, like Festival of Voice was in the ground, because there was no room on the billboard.
Right.
Now, this woman from Poughkeepsie or wherever she is, somebody came out and said, no, you can't have political signs in the ground there, you can't have loose signs.
Mm-hmm.
We got that designated as our town sign.
That's nonsense.
And some
That's
woman,
absolute nonsense.
yeah, some
We worked
woman,
with DOT many times, put banners
I don't know
across
who
the
she
road
was.
and everything else. She's way out, that's overstepping.
what is her title? What was she? She was,
Her name is Christine Munn.
Real estate specialist.
Real estate
one.
specialist in the DOT. Here's her email.
yeah,
Anybody want it?
'cause
If
that
you
solved
could,
our problem.
Could you send that to me? Yeah, yeah.
I think
Then
we're
I
like,
wanna- I want to see the statute and law and article quoted. I want to know.
well, and you know, there's a lot in that letter that I thought was was worded in a poignant way that made it feel personal from some townsperson who had a vendetta. That is the dumbest thing I've ever said in public, so excuse me, but like that is what it,
There are a lot of
anyone is welcome to
people.
read the letter. I'll read it to you if you want, but you know, either way, we're sign challenged here. We have all the elements working against us. We're not allowed to put signs up. So I've reached out to you before. We have signs as town. We own signs. How can we utilize them better? How can we monetize them and have people advertise on them and make money for the town? What are things that we could do to be creative to work within these constraints? Because you go over the hill and they don't have any of those issues. Obviously, we're in a unique position. So I'm trying to be
Well, you know,
proactive and
you
figure out.
can put a banner up in Phoenicia now. You could take the whole goddamn thing. Don't say that. Why not? Nobody's doing anything in the winter, or at least do half of it.
That would be great.
That would be
You have to say-
amazing.
And, but make it so you can read it, like, farmers, you know, 12 miles up the road, farmers market, winter hours, boom,
Yes.
Sunday.
We are a scenic byway, so a lot of that.
I love that. That's why I
factors in.
moved here. I know.
That's what
I
really
understand.
triggers a lot of this.
I understand the purpose of it.
Right.
And
So
I
they
don't know who
don't-
did
they
it
don't
and what
mind-
year and what the nature was, but,
They won't say anything about a hard erected sign,
right.
a permanent sign.
So-
It's the temporary ones that they have issue
So
with.
what is the process that we need to go by to, for the farmer's market to have a permanent sign? Has it,
You can't, you have to put it up on our billboard.
Right,
And
I'm
you'll be
saying.
fine.
Can we make the billboard bigger?
Can we do it on our billboard? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's-
I'm
Put it
looking,
on our
yeah,
billboard.
we're looking
At
to,
least do half, so,
Yeah.
for now, in case something comes along, so you can share it.
totally. And I think
But
I'm
that
just
is our
trying to
legal venue,
encourage us to
because we're in
find,
the Catskill Park and all
Right,
that,
so
so
if-
we don't want a lot of signs along.
no, we don't want signs either, but
No.
like, we need them. We don't
Yeah.
have service. You can't look it up when you're driving.
But you should, because we've offered it many times to Bel Air when they have their events, and they've used it like once or twice.
Yeah.
They don't
We
need it.
utilize it.
So
The
you
question
can
is
use
not about what the current Phoenicia town sign is. The question at this moment is how do we create more opportunities to promote things here without encroaching on the pristine beauty of our area?
Like I
It's-
said, it has to be a permanent structure
Okay, so let's figure that out.
that doesn't take away from the beauty of the area. So the more permanent structures there are that are signs,
Well, Grace knows the laws on that.
Yeah, we would,
Again, a freestanding sign along 28 by our code isn't allowed, and by DOT standard, it's not gonna be approved. That's not the solution.
But
I don't know.
People do put them up. You're also gonna run into issues because you don't have an edifice, you don't have a front door that they can go to, So it's a floating location that
Yeah, it's
they're
not.
trying to get to.
Well,
A lot of these signs, just so you know, like Alvaria, for many years, they weren't allowed to put signs down by Route 38 to direct you to Alpine Inn and stuff.
Right.
Because their front door did not open. to
On
Alvaria,
28.
Things like that. So there's a lot of regulations that fall into play.
Yes.
It's not just town, it really is.
No, I know it's not just town. I've tried applying for DOT directional signs, the tourism directional signs. We don't qualify. We're not open 7 days a week. We're not, so where there's so many restrictions, especially for something like us. But I think it's worth putting our heads together, utilizing the assets we have. I'm not advocating for more billboards by any means. I'm asking, how can we utilize what we have, make it better, make it more useful? One example, the Phoenicia sign, the only informational text says the same thing twice: Village Center, Main Street. It doesn't indicate anything about what's in the hamlet, doesn't tell you there's a gas station or Wi-Fi
I had
or
suggested that many times, that we
Great.
put signs down
Let's
on
do
the
that.
bottom, ATM,
Little
gas. I told
icons.
you guys,
Yeah.
right? We said
So,
that'd be great.
so I'm,
Or a banner.
I am unfamiliar with today's letter. However, as part of the byway, I do have a contact, specifically Christine Colley, who is the DOT representative for Scenic Byways. She may not be the official person, but I'm happy to reach out to her and see if she's willing to direct us to someone who might have more information and might be able to clarify. I certainly don't know the answer to how we might best proceed, and there's clearly a couple different levels of governance.
Yes.
But I'm happy to reach out to her and connect you with her as well.
Thank you. And just for background, I have spoken to DOT in Poughkeepsie, and they're the ones who told me, if you want to go up against the federal government, go ahead. So,
She's luckily shows she is not attached with DOT Region 8 or any of the specific
Okay.
regions. She's attached to Scenic Byways across the entire state.
Okay.
She may or may not have any better contacts, but I'm happy to reach out to her and see if she might.
cool. Thank you.
Would it behoove us to maybe in the future have another billboard put up in Pine Hill area? Like we have by
Probably.
Phoenicia on the other end of town, so that when you have events, because you have this Main Street thing there. Yeah, so maybe put it up there. Yeah, have a big billboard as you come down the hill,
Yeah.
where your banner is, something
Yeah.
like that, like we did with the
Yeah.
other one.
I want it to be cute. I want it to look
Can't do it
nice.
now,
I don't want it
because
to be
it's
some
cold out.
like ugly thing.
Giant
It's
LED sign.
yeah, exactly.
To those LEDs.
Music playing and the whole
No, but
thing.
if they had a billboard, then when they have the Main Street festivals and all that, you'd have a banner.
And you could charge money. Like I would pay money to the town to use a sign, but like I can't just keep getting signs printed and then getting violations that I'm
But
using
definitely get
them.
a banner made for Phoenicia.
I will. Thank you.
You know the size, right? But make it a little bigger now. 4 wide.
So yes, we're taking on Uncle Sam, I'm with you. All right, let's go.
Anybody else? Comments?
Hi, I'm Beth Waterman from Big Indian, and I just want to say thank you for your support throughout the past year for the Conservation Advisory Council. We appreciate it, and we've come a long way. But I also want to say that starting January 4th, we're going to be opening a new food waste collection program at the recycling center out there. We have all the parts in pieces. We just have to get them unwrapped and moved in there, which I think may happen tomorrow. So look for big changes and the opportunity to continue to make a difference by putting your food waste at the recycling center where it will be turned into compost. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Anyone else care to comment?
So, the same thing, it is on the town website, the, information, so, I'm assuming that's gonna be happening on Thursday morning?
We're aiming for this week, yeah.
Okay, so
Yep.
9:30 to 12:30.
It'll be the same hours as the recycling
7:30 to
center.
12:30. Okay, same hours. as-
Same hours as the recycling center.
Right.
Hi, it's Jan Jaffe from Pine Hill. I just want to remind everybody that January 16th is the first PH2 meeting of the season, and we've got lots of great things planned, and we need you to be there. Thank you.
5:30?
5:30 potluck.
And Pine Hill Community Center?
Yeah.
Do you want to shoot me an ad, Jan, or something, like a Post-it?
Sure.
Something pretty?
If there's nothing else, I make a motion that we adjourn in the memory of Barb Redfield. Second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Good night, everyone.
Oh, well.
If you guys would sign some vouchers. If you have
I
some
looked over there, and my signature was on every voucher
up
already.
top there. Okay.
I'll double check.
Amy needs some signatures.